the coffee liqueur. Sweet coffee. Rum. And what can you make with it? I hear you ask. Well, what can't you make with it? An espresso martini, a mudslide, with a little leche on your couch, in your PJs, on a Tuesday. Oh, Natty Kalua, stare up. Drink responsibly. Copyright 2023. Imported by the Kalua Company. New York, New York.
A wise man once said that NFL stands for not for long. At FanDuel, we know exactly what that guy was talking about. Because even though it seems like week 1 was just yesterday, the countdown to February is officially on. We're already at the point in the season where people start to say things like playoff picture and mid-season awards. And while FanDuel can't help you travel back in time, not yet anyway, we can help you cherish every handoff, every tackle, and every field goal from now until the final touchdown. Ooh, yeah. Play that thing. New customers bet $5 and get a $150 bonus if your team wins. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in Tennessee. $5.
Welcome to the December 14th Board of Education meeting. Would you please join us for a moment of silence? Thank you. Will you join us for the pledge, please?
Attention, salute, pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we have with us, leading us in the pledge, are members of the Student Government Association for Creekwood High School. And so the first person we have there who looks familiar to all of us that are here every month is Heath Albright. Heath is a senior SGA member and board rep and also the student representative for Creekwood High School. This is for you, Heath. Next, we have a 2-for-1. We have twins here. We have Keely Hamilton. She is a senior SGA member. And this is for you, Keely. Thank you so much. And then we have Bo Hamilton, and he is the senior class president. So he's here representing the class of 2024 for Creekwood High School. And in the back, you'll see a lot of their members there. The student government is here as their supporters. So there you go. Thank you very much. Next on our agenda is approval of the agenda. Do you have any changes?
Ms. Brogdon, we had a member of the community that wanted to speak last month and was confused about getting on the policy this month for the difference in public agenda item comment and our 40344 policy. So with that confusion, I would like to see if we can add her to communications, and that's Ms. Conta Masters. If you'll do that.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion to add Ms. Masters under communications. We have a second by Mr. Chadwick.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley.
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries.
Madam Chair, if I,
Yes.
we have a policy on how we go about, and certainly we voted to approve it. I would just request for the future that we try to abide by the policy and stick with that because we have a legal standard that the legislature, we didn't enact it, the legislature did. So I think that's important. I think it's important that we adhere to laws. So here we are. That's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other changes to the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Vandervoort, second by Mr. Parker. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. Motion to approve by Mr. Underwood,
Second.
second by Mr. Parker.
Question?
Question?
We're going to do the work session and the regular meeting together, or is it just for the regular meeting? They're both in there.
6 and 28.
regular meeting.
Both.
They didn't change it.
I'll make it to both.
I second the amendment.
Make the motion. No.
You did.
So we gotta vote on the motion to amend.
Yeah.
We have a roll call vote on the motion to amend. Run the amendment to their motion. Roll call vote, please. Mr. Vanderwart?
Yes?
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
All ayes. Any other discussion? Okay, now we have the motion that Mr. Vanderwart, no, who made the, Mr. Underwood,
Started that, sorry.
to approve both. And who seconded? And Mr. Parker seconded it. Roll call vote, please. Mr. Vanderwart?
Yes?
Ms. Brogdon? Yes. Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
All ayes. Motion carries. Next, we have public comment on actionable agenda items. And first up, we have Mr. Dennis Holes, who's going to speak on the director search.
Thank you. This may run over about a minute. I'm not sure if I can keep it at 3, but we'll see. I've been hacking on it all day today, trying to get it down there. So a few comments on the director search, and I have backup for any of the statements I make if anyone cares to know later at another time. So while the last director won accolades as best in the state, the district test scores did not do quite as well. And at this point, 42% of students are reading at grade, and you have a 7-year plan to get to 70% in 2030, which means that students in the school, a majority, will be essentially abandoned from getting to that level for a number of years until you even hit the 50% mark. I think if you're working on a diesel, 40% success rate, you're not going to have a job. If you're doing law and you only hit it 40% right, you're not going to make it. If you're doing books and you only get 40% of your bookkeeping right or your accounting right, you're not going to have a job. And I think I'm hoping that the district can step it up and find a way to increase these numbers to match what happens when you're out in society in the world, where you're expected to get it at 100% or as close as you can. So for instance, a slightly different take might be a possibility. Find a candidate who's produced a strong educational upgrade in some capacity. Could be a quality to look for. And whether TSBA lists that on the top of their list of ideas or character that they're looking for, you can ask and read reviews to find out about it. Secondly, as an aside, in the past, you've been required with the director to issue your own opinion on a number of qualities that the director had. So essentially, it was a subjective analysis. I would suggest that you move to an objective merit or an objective metric-based analysis. And when you hire someone, I would say your bonus will be tied by the percentage increase in the number of reading students or percentage increase that goes up. The same for teacher retention and the same for teacher morale and satisfaction in their job. And to the extent that they increase those over time, they would earn bonuses for those. You would decide how to set that, at what amount and what time. In 1775, there was a year-long public debate on whether the citizens of 13 colonies had the values, virtues, and morals to be self-governing. It went on for quite some time because they were from a monarchy where they were used to a king running the affairs. It was decided to go ahead, and the infusion of these elements of virtue, values, and morals, were set forth because of the family, the church, and the schools.
Mr. Hall, your time's up.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Ms. Masters?
What is the topic?
The director search.
Okay. I was going to donate the remaining of my time, because mine isn't going to be as long, to my husband if I could, because he spent hours and hours on that presentation. He did. I was around watching. So my quick presentation is going to be that I really am choosing to see one of the main qualities you're searching for in a director is patriotism and a love of country. What I'm seeing all through society, but even in our school, when I'm hearing from teachers and students that the Pledge of Allegiance isn't being said, that teachers are not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. These are verifiable facts, even recent in the last 6 months. I'm very deeply concerned. I love my country, and I'm choosing for you to consider that as one of the main reasons that you're going to hire somebody, that they can infuse in your school culture, again, reinfuse the kind of love I think you all grew up with when you were young, and I know I did. We had a wonderful patriotic song, I Like It Here. I still know the words. So what I'm asking is that perhaps you can consider, when you're interviewing, asking the question, how would you infuse a greater love and respect and devotion to the United States of America, starting at kindergarten and moving all the way through 12th grade? We don't even teach civics anymore. They don't even understand how our three branches work. And I think it's just very, very important that be one of the qualities that you're looking for. And if you don't mind, I would like to donate the remainder of my time, because he spent hours on that talk. Thank you so much.
We don't, you can't donate, this is not,
Does she need to speak now on communication? Wait till the end.
it's up to the board's pleasure.
Now, just wait.
How much more you need, sir?
No,
No, we're talking about the
communication.
communication piece.
30 seconds to a minute. Who's going to follow along what you said? I'm not going to get it.
Just wait. We're going to move to the next item. Student recognitions. Ms. Pitney?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got you out of order.
That's okay. We have a young lady in our community and in our midst tonight who noticed that there are some students in our county that did not have water bottles. And so she took it upon herself to basically raise some water bottles. She started with asking for donations from different places around the county, and her goal was just to raise enough for Centennial Elementary children, but it became such a large event that she raised got enough water bottles for 300 students across the county, and water bottles that students didn't have enough. So we'd like to congratulate and thank Miss Boston Prim for helping our students. Shake your hand, and you've got to turn around so everybody can see your picture and hold your little thing, okay? You did a great job.
Thank you very much. Now we have student board representatives. Ms. Pitney?
Good evening, school board members. These final few weeks before winter break have kept students at DCHS pretty busy. In academics, Cougars start their midterms on Monday, and some students have already taken their finals for Nashville State Community College through dual enrollment. Today, several of our SRO officers taught a lesson over standardized field sobriety in our Criminal Justice 2 class. These SROs showed students all the tests and cues to look for while conducting them. Our band will have their band concert on December 19th in the auditorium at Dickson Middle School. In January, we will conduct the ASVAB, a test similar to the ACT and SAT, If students score a 31 or higher, this test can count as an EPSO by the state of Tennessee to be a ready graduate. For our clubs, our hosted club competed in regional competitions with several members placing and advancing to state competition. Carly Brees and Kushi Verma placed first in their events. Lily Pierce and Holden Leach and Karis Martin placed second. Abby Potter, Macy Barber, and Gia Patel received third place. Sarah Potter, Ashley Albert, Mallory Keller, and Meredith Mangrum placed fourth. Savannah Wojo and Maria Fuzzle both placed fifth in their events. These members will advance to state and compete in Chattanooga in the spring. Our FCA club hosted a toy drive at the high school to collect toys for the Help Center's Christmas toy store. Council member Lily Harris said the annual toy store had a great turnout, and we are hopeful this will become an annual event for the years to come. The DCHS Drama Club held auditions for their spring musical Anastasia, and the cast list has been announced. In other news for our school, in addition to the new paint job that the roofs at DCHS got, there's a new DC sign in front of the side entrance to our gym. The teachers at DCHS collected just under $1,000 for the DCEA fundraiser for the nursing home. The DCHS choir has their choir concert tonight at First Baptist. They will perform again on Wednesday the 20th for the staff. DCHS extends the invitation to central office employees to come watch the choir perform and then join them for breakfast afterwards. Voting for our coming home court closed today at 3 o'clock and will be announced tomorrow morning during the morning announcements. In sports, the Lady Cougars basketball team had a great win against Fairview Tuesday night. Sophomore Keely Webb scored 19 points and junior Jenna Sain scored 16 points. The boys basketball team also won their game with a score of 62-55. They finished sanding and the painting for the gym will be fully underway next week. January 4th against Fairview should be the first game back in the gym at the high school due to renovations to our gym floor. The December 18th game will now be at Nolensville instead of at home. Both the girls and boys play tonight at Kirkwood. Instead of taking monetary admission, Kirkwood is collecting non-perishable food items and toiletries for those affected by the tornadoes in Clarksville. Next week, the DCHS wrestling team is going to Orlando, Florida for a wrestling tournament. They're also collecting donations and gift cards for West Creek to give to students that were hit by the tornado. The DC bowling team has continued their phenomenal season, currently holding a 17-1 record. The girls bowling team placed first in the district tournament and the boys placed runner-up. They start regionals once we return from break. Our softball and baseball teams have started conditioning for their spring seasons. In addition to this, both backstops at the baseball and softball fields are getting replaced before their seasons start. Dickson County High School would like to welcome Dr. McCord as the interim director of schools and look forward to her leadership over the next few months. Students and staff are excited for Christmas break and the fresh start to the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Albright?
Hello, I'm so excited to be back to report Red Hawk happenings. At Creekwood, we have been looking forward to the end of semester 1 and winter break. Firstly, Creekwood would like to give a warm welcome to Dr. McCord as the new interim director of schools. Starting with academics, tutoring has been offered in English, social studies, math, science, and ACT prep after school Monday through Thursday. Next, benchmark testing for core classes have been in action this week. Midterms for dual enrollment and semester classes have been completed as they come to a close. The end of this semester marks the last grades for seniors that count towards rankings. Now on to sports. The cheer squad traveled to Gatlinburg to compete in their annual competition. They received first place in the varsity large group non-tumbling division in the game day and traditional routine. Their performance granted them 2 bids to nationals. Our basketball teams will travel to Harpeth tonight, with the girls' game at 6 p.m. and the boys' game to follow. Our boys' basketball team has a record of 7-3 through the first part of their season. A huge congratulations to Jamison Ford, who became just the 6th Red Hawk ever to join the 1,000-point club. Along with the boys, our girls have also been performing well. Freshman Layla Downs-Darden posted a career-high 30 points at Centennial December 8th. We have also started preparing for basketball homecoming, which is January 26th. With bowling, our Lady Redhawks earned the District 12 runner-up title. They will advance to the Region 6 bowling tournament in January. Also, congratulations to Gabby Mann and Riley Akins, who qualified for this past Friday for the state individual tournament. Our boys bowling team won the district tournament and will host the regional round in January. Our baseball team came together selling shirts to raise $700 for a player's family member battling cancer. With wrestling, Stone Grove earned heavyweight champion at the West Creek Coyote Classic. The wrestling team plans to compete in the Cheatham Duels competition and the Ray Dalton Invitational at Brentwood Academy in the future. Good luck to our Red Hawks. Moving on to clubs. Our host club had 13 members placed on the top 5 in their regional competitions. Many members of our youth leadership are in attendance tonight, as you can see. These students helped to organize this year's Angel Tree program. All of our angels were adopted and gifts were due today. Relaxed dress code armbands for Holiday Spirit Week were offered to students for $5, with all proceeds going to additional Angel Tree services. Our Hawks Nest Press students have been selling ornaments throughout this week. They are personalized ornaments as well as General Creekwood ones. The CWHS Club International will travel to Jewel Cave on Saturday. Creekwood's Humane Society Drive and Food Drive had a very successful turnout as we were able to provide both organizations with donations for the community. With all of that being said, we are excited to see what is ahead for Creekwood throughout the holiday season and into the new year. Let's go Red Hawks. Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have monthly reports under finance.
Board members, if you'll look in your packet, you'll see that our revenues are a little higher than what they were at this time last year. Percentage-wise, our expenditures are a little less, so that obviously is a good thing. In our property tax, we are up from 8% from the prior year up to 13%, and our sales tax are a little bit down. Our utilities are lower in the percentage, basically than the year before. Any questions?
I do have a question. I don't know, am I looking at, why is sales tax is down, but the number is higher? Did our tax change? Did our,
The reason for that is the budgeted amount is higher than it was last year.
got you. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
So that makes the difference.
I understand. Thank you. Perfect,
Okay.
perfect.
It is a little bit increase over as far as total dollar wise, but
Right.
percentage wise, not so much.
Perfect, thank you.
Next, you have the, just the summary for the month of November. Can you say something about that?
You have the summary, you've got your balance sheet as well as the financial summary sheets for all of the funds. All funds, as you can see, are in good condition at this particular time. So property tax is just now beginning to come in, so we'll see increases in that as the months go by. But all, as you can see, all funds are in that.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve the monthly report for November.
Second.
Second by Mr. Parker. Any other questions or discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
All ayes.
The next internal school report audit was completed. As you know from last month, it was a little behind. There were a few findings, but all findings have been corrected. It has been determined that, or have been sent out, all findings have been corrected as well, and that we will offer some training in that area, just to ensure that these needs are corrected and that, hopefully we won't have them again.
Do you have any questions on the audit findings?
Make a motion to acknowledge receipt of the audit.
Second.
Motion and a second to acknowledge audit findings. Any other comments? You have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
All ayes.
Motion carries. Next, we have bid approvals.
I've divided up the bid approvals a little different than what we normally or what you may have been accustomed to. The first section, under section 3B, 3, or I's, whatever you want to call them, those are all out of monies that we currently have in the budget, except for one. So we'll start with the coolers and the freezers. That one, I made a mistake. Sorry, Linda. Got you. We will need that as an amendment, and that will go before the county commission, is it right? In January. It's to come out of a fund balance. But we have to purchase walk-in coolers. Any questions on those? It comes from the nutrition department, the funds from that.
That will be a fund balance purchase, right?
Correct.
Mobile, Alabama.
Yep.
Make a motion we approve.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second. Second by Mr. Parker. Any other questions? We have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderboard,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
Next, we have our lawn care. The lawn care is actually a bid for next year, to put in next year's budget. It is, it's for the 23-24 school year. It is quite a bit, I think, higher than last year's, but it is for us to do budgeting beginning in January.
Question,
Yes, sir.
and maybe for Ms. Frazier, for you, the one, when we bid the schools out, they're all individually done. And if I recall correctly, you pay per cut other than the extra items. So if you don't use but 18 of them, that's what you pay out. It's price per job, right?
Right, this is the bid according to, what it would be for a cut or the extra, the bush hogging. But we only pay for exactly what is done. This just gives an estimate, based on prior years of how many cuts we have done in the past. So that gives you a total amount so that we have a total amount that we can also budget. Okay?
Thank you.
Are either one of these people that's done this for us before?
No, sir, they have not. The previous company fell into a situation where that they were no longer able to do all of our campuses. And so one of these has done some work for us this mowing season, but B&B Lawn Care has not. So they will be new to us.
Ms. Frazier, just for
Yes.
clarification, we did have a lawn company and then wasn't it midway through, they kind of unable to fulfill the contract basically?
Yes, sir. We had a lawn company that we had been working with for 2 or 3 years. And there was an accident that destroyed a lot of his equipment, and then he was unable to have enough employees to fulfill the full contract. So for this last mowing season, we divided that up. He kept some of the campuses, but we had other people to help us out to get our campuses mowed and kept. So this is a brand new bid for the upcoming next year's mowing season.
I'd like to make a motion to accept low bid from B&B Lawn Care.
Second.
We have a motion to accept the B&B Lawn Care bid and a second by Mr. Haley. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderboard,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
The next item is for the purchase of some professional development for our new math curriculum. We are piggybacking off of a a proposal from Memphis City that's just in there. It will be paid for out of ESSER three money, but because it's over 25,000, we do need board approval.
So this is that money.
Mhm.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
And the next item, the next four items have to do with the discussion held during the work session. So we've gotten some actual bids on some of this and others, just design bids for that we had discussed. The first one is the Creekwood HVAC bid. It would need to come out of fund balance. Currently, we do not have enough money in our fund balance to cover this, so we would need approval of this to be able to take it to the county commission. $412,080. And it is for the field house at Creekwood.
Madam Chair, so this would have to go before the commission?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
As a budget amendment, yes.
Yes. The you said 412,
080.
080.
Mhm.
Make a motion, we approve.
Which company? The
It's
low
good.
bid.
Low bid of make a motion, we approve the low bid of 412,
080.
080 S&M
It's in Lawrence.
Lawrence Company, Inc.
Before someone makes a second, so we can.
Second.
Now you can discuss it.
Yeah. If we have a second.
Okay. I guess you got the star because the one that we got the motion on is that is the administration's recommendation then?
Yeah,
Is that right? Okay.
yes. The low bid,
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Thank you.
And this was an item that we had talked about at our work session, if I recall. It's something that we decided that was needed. And it's part of recommendations that have come down historically, I believe. So,
Any other discussion? You have a roll call?
Make sure that the motion for approval also includes the amendment. And approval for a amendment to the.
Budget amendment.
yeah, oh, yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure that
No, that's why I'd ask about if we need to include that, then I amend my motion to that, to include a request to amend the budget for that purpose.
Thank you.
Give me a second.
Steve?
Second.
Okay.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes?
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
All right, next under maintenance, we have the Charlotte Elementary water heater replacement. And I believe this is just for the design of that. Is that correct, Mr. Clifton? And the cost of that is $15,500. We kind of grouped those together if you don't, well, I guess we could do them separately if you want to do them separately. But all the next three have to do with the design fee for The first one is the water heater, the second one is the Creekwood CTE building, and the third one is re-roofing White Bluff Elementary and Stuart Burns Elementary. Now, this is just the design fee, and it would require a budget amendment, again, for a total of $394,750.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Yes, $394,750.
And this is just for the design phase on all those projects.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, they have to be done to get the ball rolling on the repair. Do we usually take and budget the roof repairs into our normal budget if we have a plan? Does anybody have that answer?
We have not in the past, but we think that's probably a step that we're going to try to do in this next one, because we definitely think that might be something we need to
Yeah,
make
I
on
mean,
a
I just, if
rotating
we're
basis.
doing one every year or two every year, no matter what, if I didn't know if it's budget money, and if it wasn't budget money, did we always go to the commission to get fund balance money to do the repairs?
Yes.
Can I
Mr.
try that?
Haley?
The purpose of being a one-time expense and now the amendment is Ms. Frazier, if I say this wrong, correct me, but the budget is largely the recurring charges, and while the roof can be added in there whenever we wind up having known higher sales tax coming in, we also have less maintenance of effort to maintain, that we will do the one-time expenses out of reserve funds from time to time. And I think at this point, that's what we'd met on before, was to, instead of turning a big list in to the commission to say, let's say $1 million, that we're kind of itemizing what we're doing with that reserve money at this point for one-time expenses. Did I get that right? If you want that emotion, just minimize and do it, yes, not the whole paragraph. Yes, we have to plan it to get it going, we have to have,
I'll interrupt you in a second.
thank you.
Did you get his motion?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort?
Yes.
Mr. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
All ayes.
Just an FYI, Mr. Clifton has asked for a design cost for the DCHS auditorium. We have not received that yet, but I know that was discussed as well Thursday, so we're in process on that one as well.
And you're, so, interesting, we used Lyle Cook Martin for the roof, and the others we used an engineering firm. So I know we discussed last time just that entire issue, and I think it's important that we look at the engineer just as much as we look at the architect, because both are oftentimes needed, and I'm glad to see we're using it in conjunction, so.
Thank you.
Our next item on the agenda is the HR report for the month of December. In that, you'll see that we had 5 resignations, 6 leave of absences. There were no non-renewals, and then obviously our hires and transfers.
Is there a number on the number of resignations we've had so far this year?
I'm sure we could get that, but at this point, I'm sure we can do that.
I don't have it with me at this time.
Okay.
Do we need to accept that? Okay. The next item on the agenda is from our food nutrition area. Mr. Williams came to me and wanted to change some job descriptions for his current employees that he currently has. And so he brought that to me. One of them is the School Nutrition Operations Manual. He changed the job description, moved someone up into that new job description to change things. It is a pay scale of a 40. The old one was pay scale of a 40. There are no budgetary changes in that, but he did want to bring that before the board. And the second one is the School Nutrition Data Technician. That one, the pay scale did actually change. It went down. He recommended changing it from a pay scale of a 37 to a 34 and then fill that one. And he did change the job descriptions from the prior employee's job description. Mr. Williams, is there anything else you want to bring up on that?
No, that's great. Just looking at what we have, the job descriptions that were there when I got them were hard to understand who did what. There was some overlapping of job descriptions from other employees, so I was trying to give a better distinction between those two specifically. Where there's one doing a lot of it, but they're doing a lot of technical things, and that's why the other one would drop in the level. Would also help financially.
Okay, and then the last thing on here is the DHA hearing committee. That's the next, oh, well, I guess we need to approve that, sorry.
Make a motion.
Got that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept those modifications to those two job positions.
Second.
We have a motion to accept those job descriptions, second by Mr. Parker. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
All ayes.
The next item on the agenda is the DHA hearing committees. Since we've had some changes in our staffing, obviously, we needed to update the members of our DHA hearing committees to reflect our current staff at the central office. So that list is before you, and I think
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Mr. Haley, second by Mr. Chadwick to approve the members of the disciplinary hearing. Any other comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Our next item is the field trip permissions. We have several of those, but the first one on your 4A, I believe is the first one in there, had to do with the robotics team. They did not get the permission to us in time so that we could approve it. This is just an acknowledgement of a out-of-state field trip, actually after the fact. The remainder of them, if you'll look at them, they are all upcoming, and they are anything from, we've got the state 4-H hog show, we have the basketball tournament in Chattanooga, we have the choir students caroling at the nursing homes, we have a STEM activity, National High School Cheer Championship, and viewing the national monuments in Washington, D.C. Actually, that one is for May, but I encouraged my principals to get those in prior to the events, and so I've got some quite early, but that's great.
Make a motion to acknowledge the robotic tournament event of December 9th and to approve the upcoming events.
Second that.
So motion to acknowledge the robotics and to approve the others. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vandervoort,
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon,
Yes.
Mr. Haley,
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick,
Yes.
Mr. Underwood,
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Our next item is board policy revisions. If you will look in your packet, we have a parental a paid parental leave. It is a state requirement, and it was given to you at the work session. It was our understanding that we could pass it tonight on the first reading if possible, and then we would make changes to include all employees, because the state law does say that it is good and it is reimbursable, just so you know that, for those that require a license. And the definition of those requiring a license or having a license would include nurses, bus drivers, teachers. So it was leaving out quite a few people that we believe this would impact. We did ask Ms. Hall if she would work on this. She has spoken with TSBA today. I'm going to pass out this new possibility for you to look at, and she's, as you know, to make adjustments upon your request, that way you can see what TSB has advised her, and then you can make adjustments to it. Second reading, hopefully, if you approve it on first.
Mr. Haley?
Is that obvious?
Yes.
What upcoming work sessions are you looking at?
I think we have one for
The 11th, I believe, January the 11th.
I asked Ms. Hall before the meeting if, timing on this policy, and if we're gonna have a work session on the 11th, it would still fall before a January reading. I think this is a good thing. I'd like to understand a little bit more to make sure we're not excluding somebody we should be including. While we do focus on our certified teachers, we also have a lot of employees I want to make sure we look at also. So can we put that through a work session before the first reading? Does that cause any problem as far as implementation?
No, I wouldn't think so. I don't know that we had, when does it begin? Do you know, Ms. Hall? Okay, Ms. Frazier?
Actually, the paid parental leave act was passed and effective May the 11th, 2023.
Okay.
It is under the direction of the Department of Education Finance Department. They did not finalize forms and more or less their rules and regulations until the end of October. So we're gonna have to go back and gather a lot of information to put it into place. So it would not really hinder anything if you wait until January. That'll make it February for passage. But it really doesn't hinder anything, because we're gonna have to go back and recoup a lot of that information to send that to the state for reimbursement to begin with. And once again, the reimbursement is only on those that require a license. We're requesting that it also be extended to the classified employees. Other districts have done that, and the savings, the money that we will get back could help to offset what it would cost us for the classified employees.
Thank you, and I appreciate you looking for all the employees. It just, I think the questions are more discussion on my end than I want to change the line here or there, but it's a good thing y'all worked on here. There's no question about that.
So just to be clear, the state passed a law and then decided to put some rules in place. Okay. Got it, understand now. That sounds about appropriate. Got it, clear, very clear. Very clear.
And in the beginning, it was supposed to be under a different department, and then it got shifted. And so it has taken them some time to get all of that worked out, hashed out, how that's all going to work. And there is a lot of documentation to track all of that.
Make a motion, we defer it until January.
Second.
We have a motion to defer until January, and a second from Mr. Haley. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Vanderboort?
Yes.
Ms. Brogdon?
Yes.
Mr. Haley?
Yes.
Mr. Chadwick?
Yes.
Mr. Underwood?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have the director search update. I left some papers on your desk for you to review before we have our meeting on the 19th. 5:30. At 5:30, yes. That way we can be prepared for him. No. And I can send you the sample questions in email if you would like. You want to play with them? Yes.
So bring anything we want to add or adjust to the 19th meeting. We go.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we'll discuss it, I guess,
With,
how we're going to proceed.
I think you'll see from one of them, it's just he gave maybe a timeline
Yeah,
or,
like, yep,
yes.
candidate.
You can always email me or him if you have any specific questions that you need answered before the 19th.
All right, the last item I have is the Director of Schools report. Just a couple of things I wanted to remind you of. We do have transportation is having a breakfast tomorrow morning at 8:30 at the fairgrounds. I do understand that you'll have to go to the third left past all the lights before you can get in. So the entrance is going to be a little difficult, but you are all welcome. We'd love to have you. I wanted to remind you about the Director of Schools search on the 19th at 5:30. If you recall, he did ask that be changed because he had a Christmas program or something. The County Commissioners meeting will be this Monday, the 18th at 7 o'clock, and I will be bringing those budget amendments to that work session. The State Department will be releasing letter grades for each of our schools. We are able to review them now. I will say that I'm very proud of our schools, and I think you will be as well. But we are in the process of seeing that. They will release them on the 21st, and I have asked Miss Dr. Thiel to. I may have her come on the 11th, if possible, to kind of review those with you and explain to you how they came about and what that looks like.
21st of January.
The 21st of December, they will be. So it's pretty fast. Okay.
So under communications, we have Miss Masters.
First, I want to say that I'm really heartened that you allowed me to speak tonight. I think it really reflects on what I'm about to say. When the first meeting I came here, there was tension, and there was a definitely, we're here, you're there, you keep your spot. It was announced that way by the person in charge, and I was surprised. I didn't feel welcome, and I didn't feel comfortable. And I've been hearing this. I have been on the ground out there. There's been a lot of talk about school board because of the election. A lot of people are feeling pretty tense and negative, frankly. And I'm choosing to have that change. And I think it's really possible to do that. And what I'm choosing to ask you is to consider us, instead of the complainers or whatever you might think, or what are they going to bring up this time, as your eyes and ears are your boots on the ground out there in the trenches. You can't know everything that's going on. You can't hear about what the principals are, not that so much what people are saying about the principals, but what are happening with the students and the teachers. A lot of us hear all that stuff. And if you could consider us eyes and ears on the ground, coming to give you information because we have the same goal. We want the highest quality, Dickson County #1 in the state. And I mean it, it can happen. But if we work as a team, it makes it possible. Instead of this adversarial feeling. And like when he was going to speak and there was the thing about the rules, I know that law. And that law was a suggestion by the legislature about the agenda. It isn't a law that you have to have. And I'm happy to share with you that I've been in conversation with the chairman of the Hickman County School Board, who's a wonderful soul, and he has changed the culture of that school board and the whole school system. And I have that from firsthand opinions from teachers. And what he has established, they revised their code. And the first 15 minutes of every meeting is allowed for citizens to come on any topic that they think is pertinent to the school and talk in the same 3-minute thing, right? And he said it's changed amazingly because people feel really welcome. He said it's not overused. In fact, there's less now because the people feel a different feeling about the whole culture. And that's what I'm choosing for us to work together and see this as a unity thing. We're here because we care. I have a master's degree in education. I owned a private school that was very successful. I love kids and I love the whole field. And that's why I'm involved and my husband and others as well. And so if we can start viewing it like that, I think we can change the whole thing. And when you have all of us to help you, it makes you all more powerful. It just increases your whole team. And I do want to compliment you. I felt something different from you right away. I felt a warmth and an openness, and I feel a lot more comfortable here. So thank you. But it's not that complicated. And so I'm just going to ask you, now that I wasn't properly on the agenda, you can't vote on it tonight. I understand that works. But consider making this change with my whole heart. And Chairman Gammons is happy to talk to you about it. He said it was really simple. I said, can you write it? I said, it's so simple. You just change that thing that anybody in the first 15 minutes can come.
Time.
That means people can do that. Okay, I'm just choosing us to work together as a team. I'm positive, and I feel good about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Masters. Next on the agenda is DCEA.
Thank you. I was going to report on our nursing home project. Thanks to Dr. McCord for sending us a second email. I was sweating a little bit, but the staff of Dickson County Schools came through. I hope nobody needs a place to sleep tonight or a ride anywhere because my car is packed full of stuff. And in fact, we have so much money that was donated that I will spend a weekend finding things for the second nursing home. So we went over very well. And then we want to wish each of you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you, Ms. Madden. Comments by board members?
My go.
If you want to, you can start.
I will. I don't have much other than, I was thinking about what Mr. Haley was talking about, the policy that we're going to be speaking about. And when he said all employees, and it does say all full-time employees, and it is highlighted. One thing I do want to make sure that it actually is all employees. And I think that classified employees is not all employees. And the reason I think that is because of our cafeteria staff, that when we made sure that we gave those raises last year, I don't think our cafeteria staff got that raise because they are not in the budget like the rest of everybody is. So I want to make sure that when we do say all employees, I don't know if we can specify transportation, if we got to break it down to maintenance, if we got to break it down to everything, that we make sure that if we're doing it for all employees, that we involve every one of them. I know that's just food for thought for our upcoming planning session on that policy. That was all I got. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Ms. McCord and the other new interims for their hard work. I know it's a lot on y'all, and to hit the ground running is tough, but I think you're doing great. I appreciate you.
We hear so much about bad things going on with kids and what have you, and when we see what this young lady did, and reports from our high school members, things that are going on in our schools are really, really great. I mean, appreciate it. Thank you. A lot of times, I've seen kids over the years that they weren't the class president or the club president or what, but they were in the trenches doing the little things.
And it's great to see that.
Mr. Haley?
I'll certainly echo the three before me, and hearing Miss Masters speak tonight, it just changes rough on all of us. It's rough on us. We feel what the people that livelihood depends on with that every day, and really the last few weeks, Dr. Ford, you and the staff and the teachers have really pointed the right direction, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't. It's not a one-time fix. So I think the direction's good. I think the involvement with the staff and the community is good, and I think in the outcome we're going to see it to be a good thing. So I appreciate all of you.
Mr. Vanderwall?
Boston, you are an example to us all. So thank you for what you've done and will continue to do. You've got some good examples of your parents. Thank you to the teachers and all the administrators, what they've done. And Dr. McCord, thank you for your willingness to serve. Great job. Happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you to everyone that came out here tonight. Appreciate it. I appreciate the water bottles. I'm sure those kids really enjoyed those, the ones that didn't have them. So we want to thank you for that. Hope everyone has a good Christmas and a good break from school for a couple of weeks. Thank you all for being here. Have a motion to adjourn?
Second?
We'll be back.